Japan has snapped, and they are officially pissed with the West right now, thanks to what happened yesterday, with a manga offer getting ran off the internet thanks to intense online harassment from the West, causing them to basically close down their accounts, leaving us with a final statement saying that I'm done, I'm closing all my accounts, and I'm quitting being a manga offer, and this has collectively caused hundreds of thousands and millions of different Japanese anime fans to comment on the situation. You have manga offers and artists commenting on the situation. You have just different Japanese communities that have been in the Japanese community for a very long time. You even have politicians calling this situation out for what it is and how bad it's gotten, and every single collective problem that I've been talking about for years now at this point, to localization, censorship of anime, censorship of manga, the West forcing censorship on anime and manga, trying to sanitize different works, forcing authors to buckle bend and do whatever they want, and basically not draw what they want or write what they want, but listen to the fans in the West, or create a series that is for all audience or a modern audience instead of the audience that is Japan. Every single individual issue that I've been talking about for a very long time is now being discussed by the Japanese anime community and people even outside of the Japanese anime community. Just Japan in general is talking about this subject matter, talking about, what the West has been doing to anime, finding out truly how horrific things have been, and now it's being straight up called out. It has gotten really, really bad. So for those that have not watched yesterday's video, I will give you a brief rundown to what has truly caused this explosion of just mass anger within the Japanese community. First off, yesterday, an author that wrote a BL manga, yaoi BL manga, got ran off the internet because of their work that had basically an age gap romance, or an implied age gap romance between a sensei and a student. And regardless if you don't like BL or anything like that, because personally I don't care for BL, I don't like yaoi, but I'm going to defend it because it deserves to exist, it deserves to be defended, because at the end of the day, as I said in yesterday's video, I would be a hypocrite if I didn't, defend it. But the point here is that the author basically had, a scene in the manga that was basically suggestive. It wasn't too extreme, but more or less it was called out by people within the West, terminally online freaks, and so the author apologized, saying, I'm very sorry, no ill intentions here. And so when the anime came out, basically the author asked the staff to censor that content within the anime for, the same type of harassment and issues wouldn't bubble up to the surface again. And then when the episode finally arrived, and it's starting to air right now, the scene was removed, but that wasn't enough. The same freaks that attacked the female author did the exact same thing again, and the harassment surged to a new boiling point, causing the author to give up and basically quit. And so now you have everybody in the industry within Japan now talking about the situation, on how toxic it is, and just how the West, or these individuals within the West, have been really trying to force these ideologies and agenda on certain authors, or trying to sanitize every single manga and anime to be less problematic as possible. And so they're being straight up called out for it. There is a lot of authors talking about the situation, artists and stuff, politicians. It's gotten collectively bad. And if you take a look at these different views, like on all these posts, it starts adding up considerably into the millions of different Japanese individual accounts talking about this all in one. It's gotten bad. So what I will say is that Japan is finally waking up to what has really been going on, and basically a lot of these accounts actually have become aware of what I've been talking about, and even commenting on my post as well, and in support of what I'm doing, which is flattering. But I will say, though, it is sad that we had to lose an offer and they had to get ran off the internet for more attention to be on this subject matter, for Japan to truly become aware of just how awful it's gotten and the pressure that's being put on different offers. And I'm willing to bet you if this continues, eventually we're going to see maybe even the Gachi Akuta offer, Irana probably talk about this situation, because she's been dealing with a lot of issues with people within her community trying to force changes on her, make characters like trans or whatever, force trans on a certain character, or make, try to say that she's like binary and all that, or non-binary. There's a lot of different things that's been happening to that offer, and judging by how much this is exploding, I feel like it's only a matter of time until more Japanese offers, like manga offers, talk about this, and it just really explodes. But it's crazy just seeing the fallout, or in this case, the blowback that a lot of these people within the West are getting from Japanese accounts right now. And I want to point something out that I've been seeing in the last 24 hours. There's definitely like a psyop going on, but these Japanese accounts are not allowing that to happen. Basically, the harassment that the offer faced before they got ran off the internet They were basically all people with different flags and pronouns in their bio. That's straight up what it was. And the offer was very much harassed, which is very strange, especially since, that group of individuals typically, would be all for BL, yaoi, yuri, because that's a part of, like, for instance, the LGBT stuff. And the fact that an offer that clearly was pro BL and yaoi, making a series kind of dedicated to that, was ran off by the pretty much like people that you would think would be fine with that, be fine with yaoi and BL, is absolutely wild. And they're getting called out for it. And what's even crazier is a lot of people, let's say, right-leaning in terms of politics, that, let's be honest, do not like BL, do not like yaoi, don't care for it, straight up has come out and trying to defend the offer. And I feel like it's just really interesting just seeing kind of like the situation unfold, and kind of how, like, you have a lot of people that, you would think, like, or at least what the general populace wants you to think, that people on the right want to completely get rid of BL or Yuri or whatever, but they're defending this offer. While people on the left that have these pronouns and flags and everything are straight up the ones causing the harassment. Now that, like, everything's happening, people that were harassing the offer are trying to spin it that it was racist, like, homophobic individuals on the right that were doing it, but that's not the case. And a lot of these Japanese accounts are calling them out for their bullshit, and that they're straight up lying, because they know, they got receipts, they got pictures and everything, they're just calling it out because they saw it. So yeah, this has got nuclear, and I feel like we have finally reached a point, like a tipping point, so to speak, in this discussion around censorship and localization and everything, and sanitization of manga and anime, thanks to this situation. Am I sad that we had to lose an offer for this? Yes. I don't think it should have ever happened. That's awful. It's absolutely unacceptable. And I really hope that all the support that these different artists and offers and people online in the East and even in the West are sending the offer, I do hope that they see it instead of just the negativity, and they do try to come back. But if that does not happen, I guess there's nothing we can do about it. But what I will say, though, is that it's very clear that this has caused a lot of people that have remained silent or unaware of the situation to finally start to speak up. And so there is definitely, out of this terrible, very shitty situation, there is a little bit of a light that's shining here, basically revealing that how truly awful it has gotten, and that there is now a spotlight on these absolute vile, mouth-breathing, parasitic leeches that are absolutely tarnishing the anime and manga communities and just fictional content in general. They're being called out for what they really are. And so, yeah, I gotta say, man, it has been a wild time. Like, look at this Japanese account, what they're saying here. I'm currently exchanging with a ton of foreign anime and manga fans, and they're all earnestly hoping that we'll keep producing Japan's unique works just like always, They want to see works that are distinctly Japanese, not something weirdly pandering to the world. Besides, aren't the Japanese works that are selling well in reality not pandering to overseas taste at all? And this is very true. This is a Japanese account, and this account's been gaining a lot of traction as well, and a lot of different accounts too, basically talking about the situation, how anime needs to stay Japanese and cater to the Japanese instead of overseas, because the reason why anime has exploded and become very popular is because it caters to the Japanese, and people have shifted over to it because of how distinct and different it is. But if you try to change what makes it work, it's not going to work anymore. So I do like how, once again, a lot of people within Japan are starting to call this out and basically say it like it is. So there is some good news here, despite the sadness that happened to this offer. But, I will leave it at that. I just briefly wanted to talk about this because it was insane just seeing the explosion. I don't know if necessarily, like, what fully blew the lid on them to fully start talking about this. I don't know exactly what post it caused, what they saw, but I feel like it's definitely, there's a lot of waves now being made, and I feel like the door now is opened and the light has been shown into the darkness, and basically it has been revealed what's been going on. So, we'll see if it goes anywhere. I mean, we have Japanese politicians now talking about this, so, and offers, manga offers too, so it's pretty big. I'll leave it at that, though. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, leave a like in the video, it does help me out a lot. Chibi out.